Breaking news, breaking news. Goodbye is the saddest words 2 ears have ever heard. Adam Thielen is gone. He's coming home. He's going home. Carolina Panthers trade wide receiver Adam Thielen back to Minnesota Vikings. What did we get in return? Stick around. You don't want to miss this. What's good, everybody? I'm your host, Kato, also known as the Big Cat, and this is 1995 The Roar, a channel by a fan for the fans, restoring the roar. If you haven't already, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share, and comment. I do love to read you guys' feedback. Today, we're going to talk about Carolina Panthers trading Adam Thielen literally just a few minutes ago. What did we get in return? What's the expectation going forward? And was it a good move? Let's talk about that in our first segment, the first roar. All right, y'all. With that being said, Adam Thielen just broke this news here. Homecoming, Panthers and Vikings finalize a trade. The Vikings get Adam Thielen. They also get a conditional 2026 7th-round pick. And they get a 2027 5th-round pick. The Panthers in return get a 2026 5th-round pick and a 2027 4th-round pick. Now, I want to say this just off right at the back. I'm not really fond of us giving up a 5th-round pick in 2027. But we kind of moved up at around in 2027. So it's kind of, it offsets one another, right? So even though we give up a 5th-round pick in 2027, we got a 4th-round pick in 2027. So we can kind of move up there. Which, you know, if you think about it, not bad compensation here. We also got a 5th-round pick next year. So we gave up a 2026 pick, a 2027 pick, and we got a 2026 pick and a 2027 pick in the 5th and the 4th round. So for a 35-year-old receiver who's probably, you know, going to retire in a year or two, this is great. This is fantastic here, man. Again, Adam Thielen, I want to wish him the best, man. I think as a Panthers fan, you got to appreciate what he's done for Bryce in his 2 years here, man. I mean, especially year one, he came in as the main target. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if he necessarily was happy being here, right? You could tell that just, you know, last year when he went to that golfing tournament, he was talking about how he really wanted to go to Kansas City. And, you know, obviously they didn't want him there. But so it was more like just, you know, him. It's more like a necessity of him being here. But at this point in his career, I think he deserved it. He earned the right to go and be happy or return home from Minnesota. So why not, okay? So one of the reasons why Minnesota made this move, obviously they have Justin Jefferson up there, who's the #1 star, probably the best receiver in the league. But their second receiver, Jordan Addison, has been suspended. So that left them with Jalen Nailor and also Ty Felton and a couple other guys who nobody really cares about. So, you know, I think they're getting a guy, even though he's old, you're still getting a route technician, a guy who can a safety security blanket when it comes to catching balls. So for them, it made sense. Well, I'll put it to you like this. You had options out there. I think Hunter Renfrow he's probably a younger version of Adam Thielen. I mean, they both were route technicians. And those guys both secure catches. Maybe they believed in Adam Thielen's health more than Hunter Renfrow. Because I'm like, yo, you could have probably picked him up without giving up the draft capital. But I guess it was a match made in heaven. He wants to come back home. You know what I mean? It was more so sentimental than versus necessity when they had other options on the table. But nonetheless, man, salute to Adam Thielen. Thank you for your time here in Carolina, man. We appreciate that. And, yeah, shout out to the Carolina Panthers, man. I think this was a great move here. If you look at our current receiving core here, we got T-Mac, we got David Moore, Bryson Tremaine, Xavier Legette, Jalen Croker, and Jimmy Horn. Obviously, Adam Thielen is not here. So, my next question is this. What do the Panthers do as far as picking up another receiver or so? Is it possible that we go back and get a Hunter Renfrow off the waiver wire here or free agency or whatever, man? So, I would like that at this point in time, man. I'm not tripping off the compensation. Again, we moved up. You know what I mean? In the prior years to come, 2026, 2027. I like that. Great moves, man. This was more than I expected. I honestly thought he was probably worth no more than a 6th, 7th round pick. But the fact that you got a 5th and what is this? Stay right there. You got a 5th and a 4th round pick. You got a 5th and a 4th round pick for a 35-year-old receiver who's probably gonna retire within a year or two. 5th and that's amazing. I shout out to Dan Morgan, Willen, and Dylan. More than likely here, these are weapons that's going to probably come in and help be supporting roles, whether it be on offense or defense. And believe it or not, within the 4th or 5th round, you still got, you still got some value there, right? It's usually when you get down to the 6th, 7th round, it's when you kind of like you just drafted for practice squad players. But 4th or 5th round, you may get a gem, okay? Or you could take those picks and you can roll them up and trade up. You could take those 4th and 5th round picks based off what Minnesota does, you know what I mean, and roll up until where you can get a 3rd round pick out of it. There's somebody you really want to go after. So you got capital to either stay where you at and get more pieces, or you got capital to trade up into the earlier rounds. Beautiful GMing right here. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it here. For the Minnesota, I'm guessing they feel like this is a shot for them to really make a move on the NFC North, right? Because you got the Lions who already got the game in the chokehold. Bears and Caleb Williams trying to figure it out. So, J.J. McCarthy, if you really believe in him, you got to give him weapons. You can't have your young guy, especially coming off a ACL repair, coming out here playing with Jalen Nailor. No disrespect to him. You got to have him some legit targets, right? So with Justin Jefferson and Thielen, I think you give him a chance to really make some magic. And maybe if you make this move if you're Minnesota, you make this move because you feel like, hey, we're coming for the crown of the North, right? So now where does that get you? Does that take you into a playoff run or not? I don't know. But it definitely gives you a shot to be better than what you are with Addison. And then not to mention when Addison comes back, you still kind of you reduce the workload of Adam Thielen and allow for him to come in and still be a solid number 3, right? So you strengthen your receiver core at least a minimum a year. And if he stays healthy, he's still producing, maybe you can get him another year. But for the Vikings, a little bit of a head scratch on their end because there were options out there. But sentimental, I understand it, okay? Here's my final thought, man. Shout out to Adam Thielen, okay? Again, like I said before I met his pops, shout out to him. Good dude, hardworking dude. Why did he want to get out of Carolina so bad? I thought this was something, a lot of people were saying Bryce is up on the come up and all this other stuff. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for wanting to leave Carolina, right? Maybe he's, he has come to peace with this is my last year and I want to be somewhere where home is, you know what I mean? That's, can't blame a guy for that. I mean, if you're going to go out, you want to go out, where you started at, okay? If he's not going out and he plans on playing at least another year or two, not wanting to play with Bryce Young and his young receiving core, I understand it. I think there's going to be a lot of growing pain with this receiving core. I don't know if you guys are expecting for them to come out here and light it up, have 100,000 yards receiving. I will lower my expectations on that. But I would say this, man, I think the future is bright, right? Jimmy Horn, T-Mac, and if Xavier Legette can get his maturity and his focus together, I think he can be a pretty good receiver. But right now, this is a lot of trial by fire. There's a lot of growing pain in this receiver room, right? You're going to see a lot of good things. You're going to see some highlight catches and stuff like that. And also, I think this has a lot to do with the comfortability of our receiver room. You got guys like Jalen Croker, and then you got Bryson Tremaine. I know he just popped up in the preseason doing his thing here, but that's security. You know what I mean? That gives you good depth right there. When you see what Jalen Croker has done, to me, he's literally pushing for a number 2 spot. I'm comfortable kicking Legette down to a slot receiver and starting Croker, if you ask me. If I had to today, if I'm the GM or head coach or whatever, Croker's my number 2. I'm kicking Legette to the slot and T-Mac going in at number 1. And there's going to be a lot of growing pain between all 3 of them, okay? A lot of growing pain, but I'm comfortable. I think this is one of them things where the more they play, the more experience they get, the more refined they become in their craft. So, so I'm not tripping. Adam Thielen was a good veteran receiver, but at this point in time, you can't coddle these receivers, right? They're young, you know what I mean? You got to let them make their mistakes. You got to let them grow. Now, will that come with wins? I don't know. I think it definitely is going to come with some losses here. But, the future is bright in Carolina, okay? So if you're mad about it, let me know. Get in the comment section. I'm your host, Grenade Gato, also known as the Big Cat. This has been 1995, The Roar, channel for the fans, by the fans. Get in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. Did we get enough for Adam Thielen? You guys let me know. Are you mad about this move? Are you happy about this move? Let me know as well. And we're always, man, I love you guys. Y'all be good. Pause up. Let me hear your roar, 95ers.